Hey guys, welcome to the channel here. My name is Rob.
And I'm Brian.
Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, new show on Disney Plus. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Why are you watching this video if you haven't? So both of us are big Marvel fans, comic book guys and stuff growing up. So I'm excited to get into this. Our last two shows have been DC related. So if it's your first time here, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel and get more content from us. So without anything else here, we're going to get right into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So for me, I was really looking forward to this one. This was my number one hype show out of all the shows they announced, because I thought it was going to be like along the lines of the Winter Soldier, which I really liked, and to this day still one of my favorite Marvel movies. I do got to say, so far, not really having a whole lot of interest in WandaVision, and then really picking up on that. I kind of am liking that one better. I don't know, but I mean, this is good, and we're going to get into it. But just as a brief overview, that's kind of like my preference. I like that one better. I don't know. What do you think so far, general?
Yeah, I think that this is a good show, but Captain America was my favorite in the Marvel universe, and Winter Soldier was such a great movie, and then this one just doesn't quite make it there for me.
All right, so let's go into episode 1. So we pick up with the Falcon. He's going on a mission to go fight some bad guys. It was really cool to see the return of Batroc, the Leaper. Now that scene, the action and everything like that was top notch. I mean, that was a great start to that show to come in. And I mean, the amazing stuff. I really like the Sam Wilson character. Bucky as well, an introduction to him, what he's going through, the trauma, everything he's been through. I thought they did well with that. If anything, if I have any criticism of this show, really is it's not tight. It's kind of like, all right, we wrote a 6-hour movie and we didn't cut out all the fat. And instead, we're just going to make it a show and just show all the fat. Like, I liked his sister. I liked the situation. I liked hearing about his parents, but it like took me down for a little bit. It just went slow. And I was really excited to see Zemo come back as well. I liked him in the first one, purple mask, stupid jacket, all that stuff. But it's cool. I had the action figure, the old one from the 80s, the purple spandex wearing guy. I always thought he was cool.
Zemo was a bright spot for me too.
Yeah, I mean, I do got to say, the scene with them where they were doing that like group or couples therapy. Yeah, and they're sharing and they're up close. I mean, that was great. That was gold. They could have stretched that out longer. I would have rather seen 5 minutes more of them getting into it than hearing about his sister in their boat. Like, it's fine, it's fine, but we never met the sister before. It's not like Hawkeye's wife or something that comes in and, you want to see more of them. We never met her before. Why are we spending 20 minutes at the house? This is supposed to be a spy drama. I want spy action and stuff. So it kind of lost me for a little bit. The villains. All right. So we like the Falcon. We like the Winter Soldier. We like Zemo, right? What do you think of the Flag Smashers, about their philosophy?
The thing about the Flag Smashers is, and the thing about a lot of the premise of this show, I'm seeing a lot of parallels with what's going on in the world today and in our country and society. And I get that fits with this kind of spy genre, but it's taken me out of it. I feel like some of their commentary and some of their philosophy is too on the nose. They're using this idea of the blip to really relate to some things that I would rather have some escapism from. It wasn't just immigration, but it's also this idea of refugees and repatriation. And that's a very complicated conversation, and it deserves more than this show can give it. It's a superhero show, There's an old, like 80-year-old film that came out, I think, in 1941 called Sullivan's Travels. And this story is about a director who wants to relate to the common man. And it's around the time of the Great Depression. There's a lot of people suffering, a lot of people poor. And he knows that living his Hollywood lifestyle, making these fluff movies, he's living better than most people and he has no way to relate to people. So he decides to go on this journey, and he lives as a hobo, hopping trains, going through different adventures with this actress. And at the end of the movie, and again, spoiler alert for almost everything we talk about, but at the end of the movie, he finds himself in prison, and they take these prisoners to a church, and they go into the church and sit down, and they start playing some of these fluff films. And he looks around and he sees these men who are broken and desperate, and they're just enjoying themselves for a minute, and they're escaping. And that's significant because filmmakers and film companies need to understand that there has to be a level of escapism. We don't need to be brought down and just have all of this social commentary on everything. It doesn't, and I just think there's just too much of that in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let us just enjoy our heroes overcoming adversity, and leave that other stuff. Leave it, if you're going to keep it in there, keep it subtle. It's just too much when it's so on the nose.
I didn't really walk away from it with taking too much social commentary out of that. I looked at it as really more of a what would the world be like? These movies, we only get a 2-hour glimpse of what happens. So they blipped away, They blipped back. We got a little bit in Spider-Man and what it was like, and more of a humorous side with people coming back, and now they're 21, but they're really only 15, 16 years old. So there was some of that. But really, what the world would be like if half the population disappeared. And obviously, yeah, some countries would be decimated and they would have to move. And what happens when they come back? You got people's houses, they're going to take their homes away, they're going to lose their jobs, or what do you do with all the people that left and came back? Are they now the homeless people? So I like the idea, I like the philosophy behind it. I think where maybe it comes in, because this is taking a lot into racial issues and stuff. I don't want to get bogged down into a racial discussion, but if you're gonna talk about social commentary, trying to take on immigration and racial issues in the same show with superheroes, I can get where you got that. I didn't really get that. I didn't feel that, but I can see where somebody might.
Yeah. Well,
for me, the Flag Smashers, I like their philosophy. I do like their philosophy. I like a bad guy that you can sympathize with. Doesn't mean I have to agree with you, but I understand you. I totally understand. But I gotta say, they're just not very interesting. The chick from Solo, she's the only one with a face. The rest of them, the guy could walk right in here now, and I would not recognize any of those guys. Even the guy that got his head cut off, I probably still wouldn't recognize him, because they've been nothing villains. It's just been her, and they are not all that interesting. And I do got to say, 5 episodes in, I don't really know what their plan is, and like, okay, now they're setting up the plan, but we're dealing with this imminent threat. We got to get the new Captain America involved. We got to get the Winter Soldier. We got to get all these superheroes and stuff involved. And like, for what? They haven't done anything. They killed some people off screen earlier on, and they stole a truckload of stuff. That's really it. So let's talk about the first episode reveal. At the very end, after Sam Wilson has given the shield away to the Smithsonian or wherever he gave it to, the new Captain America walks in.
Yeah. I'll have
John
to say,
Walker.
I have to say, the first time I saw him, I was like, wow, he looks goofy. Like in that Captain America outfit. Like, it grew on me in episode 2, but the first reveal, I don't know what it was. I think somebody showed a picture of the guy from Up next to Captain America. He looked spot on. So,
yeah, he did look a little goofy in there at first. I think they presented it in a way that it was supposed to look weird too. They could have made it look heroic, but they didn't. They wanted you to be like, what? This is, I've never heard of this guy before. I know he's been in other things. I don't think I've seen any of them. This is Kurt Russell's son. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn's son. Like, all their children are in show business now. But, first comes out, you're supposed to hate this guy, right? Because he's not my captain,
Right.
But then you see his backstory. He's a loving husband. He's a decorated war hero. And, spoilers for people that don't know, this is not an original character. I don't know if you're fully aware. He was Captain America in comic books.
Yeah.
This guy is USA. Yeah.
Yes.
who got involved with the power broker and the flag smashers. They kind of take everything and throw it into a blender and come out with something that's oftentimes better than what was in the comics, or at least pays homage to everything without totally changing all of it. So, this guy becomes a super soldier, blah, blah, blah. He becomes the new Captain America. Then he gives up the shield, or is taken away, and he becomes U.S. agent, but I really liked the guy. I liked his partner. What was his name? Battlestar, whatever. Stupid name. But another character from the comic books, I wasn't familiar with him, but I got to say, I was sorry to see him die. I guess you needed something bad to happen for Captain America to flip the switch. I liked how they were trying to work together. Cap was trying to get him on board, form a new Avengers team and stuff like that. They were like shooing him away. They're like, no, you're not our guy, and then so you're sympathizing with this guy. And then he very quickly flips that switch back, especially once he got his hands on the serum. Yeah. And where this is going. You're right. He was headed down that road without Battlestar dying.
Yeah. I think in the comics, what caused him to go nuts is his parents died. And they did a good job of making like this Captain America 2.0. He's even got his sidekick, like Falcon.
Sure, he's got his Bucky or whatever,
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I think they did a really good job with him. I've really liked his characterization. Even though you hate the character, I've liked his characterization. I liked in episode 5 that they wrapped him up quickly and have set him up for the future. He's out. He wasn't the villain. He messed up, but we're gonna get him out of the way, and we're gonna move on to the end. We got a lot to wrap up in the last hour of the show, or however long it is. But I guess we really only have to tie up that. I got to say, my biggest disappointment with this show is, and it's also something I love, is Zemo.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's already gone. He put the mask on in the first episode or second episode. He puts the mask on for he shoots a guy with the mask and takes it off, and that's it. Now he's just a dude again. So it was like, all right, we know you wanted the mask. I saw the mask in the previews. Right. You showed me everything, all right? I saw that, I saw him carry the mask. I saw the picture of the mask. Where I know he's coming back. People love the character. I think a lot of people overlooked the character in Winter Soldier, Civil War. Right. I think a lot of casual people would not have realized that was Baron Zemo, because it wasn't. He wasn't Baron Zemo. He was a guy named Zemo. Right.
You didn't even know he was a Baron. Yeah.
Right. He found that out now. Oh, I'm a Baron, but I liked his characterization. It was really cool. And then the Dora Milaje, which was really cool to see them again. We didn't get Michonne from The Walking Dead, but we got the rest of them. They show up and they take him out. We got some cool fight scenes between the whole group, and then they show up again and take him off to Wakanda, or the Raft. I guess he's going to be in the same prison that they sent all the heroes to at the end of Civil War. But I would have liked to see more Zemo. I thought, and this could be expectations, I thought we were going to find out Zemo was kind of in charge of all this. Was playing both sides. I thought he was going to be more of a Hannibal Lecter type character. Like, you get the bad guy to help you, but you realize he's actually involved and pulling some strings. Not that Lecter was pulling the strings, but you know what I mean. Like, I thought there was going to be more to it. Than I don't really get what they got from Zemo. That they were able to find him, I guess, but they didn't really do anything with it. So this show for me is just, it's not tight.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's my biggest problem with it. It is kind of all over the place. Now, I do know that there was a plan to include some of the problem. They were going to have a pandemic type problem in here. I think the Flag Smashers had more of a plan originally, and I think it had to do with unleashing a pandemic. And I can see why they decided to scale back from that.
Right.
We're still in a pandemic. So I do get why. I mean, you can't take on pandemics, racial justice, and refugees and immigration reform all in one show. That'd be too much.
Right. So, well, I'm glad that they know that, like, they know there is a limit. I just wish that they would have limited it a little more. But yeah, I agree.
Tighten things up.
Yeah. I agree. But for me, like I said, Zemo was the bright spot. I liked him a lot more. Definitely got fleshed out a whole lot more than in Civil War. They did him well. Like, he is a human character. He's the bad guy, but you can relate to him. You know, his family died, his country got dropped out of the sky. He has a right to be mad. He has a you can understand where he's coming from. He blames the Avengers. He blames superpowered people because superpowered people have caused some major catastrophes in this cinematic universe.
Yeah, his country doesn't get dropped out of the sky if Tony Stark doesn't invent Ultron.
Right.
Yeah. I do like, though, that he flipped on Cap and recognized that Captain America was the exception.
Yeah.
You know, when they were like, not everybody's Steve Rogers, and he was like, that's true, or whatever. But, you know, I did like that. I'm like, okay, so he does recognize Captain America was a good guy. Because I agree, Captain America, I think if you like these movies a lot, you tend to be either Team Cap or Team Iron Man. That's why they set up Civil War that way. I'm Team Cap. I love Iron Man, but I'm a Team Cap. Those are some of my favorite films, especially number 2. But I really like number 1 as well. That was really what got me into this Marvel universe. I love the Hulk. I loved Iron Man, but I really liked Captain America. You know, he's been my guy the whole way. I'm Team Cap. So I like that this thing is very much honoring what came before, talking about the legacy. And speaking of that, we got Isaiah Bradley, who's a character from the comic books as well. You know, we find out that the government was experimenting on Black people in the Korean War era. I really like this character. I'm glad he came back. I was a little concerned that we were only going to get that one scene of him. And I really like that notion. I think if they've done anything well in the social commentary aspect, that's been their best part about what happens. I mean, we know this stuff is real. We know this stuff happens. We do need to talk about it. But I just really like that character. And I'd like to see something with him from the past. He's not as old as they made him in the show. They've aged him up. But I really liked his characterization. And his grandson is also a super soldier as well in the comic book.
Really?
Yeah. So the kid playing basketball outside has a potential to show up in what looks to be they're setting up the next Avengers. You know, we got Iron Heart coming out on Disney Plus. We got this kid out there kind of banging around. I think we got maybe some teases of a Miles Morales Spider-Man. You know, I think that they're gonna do something. We'll see. But
you think they're gonna? I hear a lot of talk about the Young Avengers. You know, especially like in WandaVision. Again, spoiler alert. She has her twins, and they're 2 characters from the Young Avengers. And that seems to be a team that they're putting together as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they want to keep the Avengers going, and I mean, how long are you gonna keep the Avengers franchise going if you keep killing people off and people leave? You know, Captain America may be dead. I don't know. Did he die? I mean, they did say Steve's gone. Steve's not here anymore. What Steve would have thought. They talked about him in a lot of past tense. And I don't know if that was just because he's retired or because he passed. I don't know if we're going to find that out. I don't think we're going to find that out in this show unless we get a surprise Steve Rogers cameo, which I'd be all for. That would make the whole 6 hours worth it for me. I've liked the show so far. I have enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I don't know if I'll rewatch it maybe once, but I'm not going to sit and watch this over and over again. But I am enjoying it. I might watch parts of it because they've had some cool action scenes. And, you know, I mean, they did what Disney Plus put like, hours of Zemo dancing on a loop on Disney Plus. Did you watch that?
I didn't see that. No. Nice.
Yeah.
Is it the same little move that he's doing?
Yeah. They just put that on a loop for like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So
nice.
But yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to see where it ties up. I want to see more Zemo. I want to see where, I guess these shows are going to relate to the movies, tie into stuff, build on things, and leave you wanting more. And if that's great, you know, I'll keep watching them. So what does this show have to do for you in the final hour to sell it and say that this was a great piece of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I would love to see a Steve Rogers cameo, even if it's, you know, it'd have to be old Steve. I liked episode 5 that it came back around to see Sam actually accepting the mantle And that Bucky, even though you could tell that he wants this shield, he wanted to be the next one. It is like there's a desire there, that he still respects Steve enough to honor his wishes, and he gives Sam the shield back. He helps him become what Steve wanted him to be. So I want to see Sam take up the mantle finally. I think it would be interesting if there's some way that he becomes a super soldier himself. In fact, when he opens that box from Wakanda, I'm wondering, like, is that flower going to be there? Is he going to take on some of that like Black Panther kind of power? Or
I think that's just the
yeah,
suit.
what? Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's just
I
the
think it's going to be the suit, and we're all happy about it. But I just that thought crossed my mind, because the whole time I'm thinking, it's cool to see him as Captain America, and there's a way for that to work with him just being at the height of human perfection, kind of like a total Batman-esque kind of character. But at the same time, like, if they worked it in some way that he can be right on par with the old Captain America, I think that would be cool. And I have to say, I like Bucky. So there are
yeah.
characters that I like about this, and I don't want him to be out of the next one,
I do like the
So
show. I know it sounds like we've been talking a lot of trash here, but I do like the show. Now,
yeah.
there's one thing that this last episode really could have done for me to make this one of the best things I've ever seen.
What's
All
that?
right, so we're fighting with John Walker. He's laid out Bucky. Sam's wings have been ripped off. He's about to crush his head in with the thing, just like he did to the other guy 5 minutes ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets his butt knocked out by a 95-year-old Steve Rogers, who shows up and takes the shield from him. That would have sold it for me. I'd have loved it. That would have been your Luke Skywalker cameo.
Yeah.
That would have been it. And he's just like, and he just been like, son, don't. Yeah. Like,
Right.
that would have been great. It's really what I want to see for this. I know we're going to get the whole last episode is now going to be Falcon is now the new Captain America.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we didn't have to wait till the very end. I hate it when movies do that, when they wait until, oh, now we're going to put the suit on. Credits. But to tie it up, we got a new Captain America, maybe a Steve Rogers cameo, and give me a good fight. I'm good.
Yeah. And I think they're going to kind of maybe reverse, is my suspicion, that they'll reverse what John Walker did by giving Sam a moment in which he can take this woman out to stop whatever terrorist attack she's going to make, and he's not going to kill her, and so he's going to prove himself to be the right Captain America. That's my prediction.
You got to lock him up, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to
lock him up.
I mean, again, I wouldn't. Would you recognize any of the other Flag Smashers?
Maybe the Asian one, the one with the long dark hair.
I didn't remember that there was an Asian one, so I guess
it'd be bad if I'm wrong. He's not even Asian.
Look it up before you put this on the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. They're not that interesting to me. Their philosophy is interesting to me, but their actual execution is not. But that could change. We're going to see what their plan is. We had 5 hours to build to their plan, and apparently it's to delay a vote. Right. I'm hoping it's more than to delay a vote.
Yeah,
because you can just vote later. So they got to have something more on the cards than just delay a vote by power outage. Right. We got to have something more.
I think they're gonna blow it up. I think they're just gonna like the Sokovia Accords meeting where T'Challa's dad died. I thought that was the plan. Like, she's just gonna murder them all with the explosives that she got from that villain.
Batroc? Maybe.
Is that who it is? Like,
same guy he fought in the first episode. That's the same guy that Captain America flew in and fought on the boat.
Okay. So yeah, it's all connecting the dots in my brain now. Thanks for that. So apparently he wasn't that memorable for me. He showed up in like one of my favorite Marvel movies. He showed up in the first episode. Here he is in the 5th episode. And I'm like, oh, who's this guy?
And we talked about him at the beginning of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And when you're saying that, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't really remember.
So that's what I'm hoping for. I'd like to see more of a plan with the Flag Smashers, something to tie up and justify their existence and reason for bringing this whole thing together. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a recap of the final episode in the series as a whole. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Any final thoughts on Cap, or any final thoughts on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I'm good for now. Yeah, we'll talk about it more after the end.
Sounds good. So please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Drop any comments down below. We'll get to them in a future video. Tear us apart. What did you like? What did you like? It doesn't matter. We'll see you guys in the next one.